Hey guys, okay, so we're going to talk about the section 3 of teaching the standards. Section 3 was chapters 8, 9, and 10. Starting in chapter 8, which was focused on reflections. I thought it was really interesting and a great skill to possess. The focus on reflection of, is my lesson really pushing them to succeed? Am I encouraging them to use inquiry? Is the lesson rigorous enough? And of course, am I meeting the standard the way that it's intended so that when they are assessed, they can perform without hesitation? This was really important to me because, especially with student teaching, we're constantly going back and reflecting on how our lessons went. My master teacher is really great as talking about, okay, well, what do you think was good? What do you think was like kind of iffy? What do we really need to work on after every lesson? So every day. And then my university supervisor, who's Alan, he's fantastic. He's always, the first thing is, what do you think went well? What do you think needs to work? So constantly having that sort of mantra of what can be improved, what actually worked for us, and what will work next. Let's push it a little further. Let's get a more extension kind of question in there. That's really helped, and this chapter was just right on the money with that. Chapter 9 really breaks my heart. My little reluctant learners. A lot of times they have negative self-esteem. They don't see a point in school because school has failed them, and they've failed school multiple times. But to get through them, we just really need some patience and some understanding. Practical application is a really big thing, especially for a lot of my reluctant learners. They're like, why do I care, Miss Echo? Like, why are we doing this? So that's something that I have really made an effort to work on, and like, how will I respond to that question, and how will I include that in the lessons without them even having to ask. A lot of times they just want to put a little bit of effort in and see some sort of result for that. And so I really make a lot of my lessons, if you put effort in, you're going to get something back out of it. You may not get an A on the test if you're not paying attention to the curriculum, but if you're putting in effort, you will get credit for that. And my more reluctant students are very happy to do that. And my more dedicated students who are very concerned with being correct all the time, my honors kids especially, they have a hard time letting go of being perfectly correct on the very first try. So I'm trying to get them kind of out of that box of, it's okay to be incorrect, especially in science. You're going to create a hypothesis that doesn't actually pan out the way you thought. But there is value in the skill of going back and reflecting and seeing what went wrong, what led you to believe this hypothesis, and what led you to believe that that was in the end incorrect. So it's kind of working both ways for me. The effort equals success. It's working great for my reluctant students, and a little bit strangely not very well for my like tightly wound students who just want to get everything right the first time. So that's interesting to me, but I think it's an important skill that they need to possess and adapt with. Sorry guys, I'm sick. Engaging in instruction is always really important as well. Labs, they love labs, but again, lab can't be every day. So whenever we have like notes days, we also have an activity, something that's fun, something that's exciting, drawing, working with a group, figuring out something, taking like a little like fun quiz. Those kinds of things are impactful because they're engaged and they get excited about it. Even if they don't think that they know the material, they end up knowing it pretty well. And again, they have to trust you. They have to know that you're there and you're there to, in their best interest are your intentions, and then they can respond to you. I still have some students who are very reluctant to learn, reluctant to do anything. It's almost the end of the semester and they're like, what's the point? And then I have a couple who have come to tutoring after school and they're like, oh, I'm here, I need to make up these 4 tests. I was like, yeah, I know, I've been telling you about it, I'm glad you're here, let's do it. And then their grade pops up so much. So something that I want to include is making some of those students who have a harder time with the lessons or they're more reluctant, is making them part of my team. And that's something that I thought of before but never really implemented. That's something that I would definitely make part of my classroom, and maybe have them like rotate out or something. But just say, hey, student A, could you pass these out for me? And yes, they're going to be out and about and they might cause a little like conversation to happen, but that's fine. And I really just want them to be able to do something and feel like they've accomplished something in the day. So even little things like that, and a thank you. I know I kind of thrive off of thank you, so a lot of them do as well. Okay, last but not least is chapter 10. We're talking about Common Core standards and the assessments related to them. A big thing that hit me was how will they measure the student success? Like, what tools will they use? And science is still kind of hard because we haven't seen them hit the high schools yet in our area. So we'll see. I've seen them work well in the middle schools, and they were taking the practice test at the middle school that I was an instructional aide at, and they didn't have to take the practice test, but they were one of the like piloted, hey, try it out for us kind of thing schools, and it worked out really well. They had really great scores, and it wasn't something that was so outlandish and like out of the realm of understanding. They were able to really get it because of the, like, I call them mini like projects, the tasks that are given to them as tests instead of just what do you call that? Like just basic information, facts that you've memorized and then you throw back on. It wasn't really like that. It was more, here's some information, read it, answer these questions about it, and then fill out this like free response situation where you should include some of these vocabulary. So that was pretty good. I like what I've seen so far, but testing changes so often that I don't know if I'll even get to use these testings. So we'll see. Overall, this book was great, and the third section was fine. I really liked the reflections and the focusing on reluctant students, because that one has been a struggle for me and something that I've been constantly working on with my master teacher and my supervisor. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.